The last passenger. The night bus groaned as it left the empty station. The driver, a tired man in his 50s, glanced at the mirror. Only 3 passengers sat scattered inside. A young woman near the front, a man in a suit halfway back, and an old lady in the last row clutching a black handbag. Rain smeared the windows. The wipers scraped back and forth like fingernails on glass. The road stretched endlessly into the dark countryside. For the first half hour, everything was silent. The woman dozed off against the window, the man scrolled through his phone, and the old lady stared straight ahead without moving. Not once did she blink. The driver cleared his throat. "Late ride, huh?" he muttered, just to break the silence. No one replied. Then a faint voice drifted forward. "Next stop, Graves Hollow." The driver frowned. He knew this route by heart. There was no stop called Graves Hollow. He checked the mirror. The old lady's lips were moving. She was the one who had spoken, but her voice, it didn't sound like hers. It was deeper, rougher, like several people speaking at once. The man in the suit looked up from his phone. "Excuse me, driver, did you change the route?" The driver shook his head. "Number no such stop." The old lady smiled, her teeth faintly glinting in the dark. The young woman suddenly stirred. She sat upright, wide-eyed, as if waking from a nightmare. "Don't stop the bus," she whispered sharply. "Whatever you do, don't stop." The driver's hands tightened on the wheel. His heart began to thump. Outside, the rain grew heavier, but through the blurred glass, he thought he saw something. A figure standing by the side of the road, waving, a man in rags. The driver slowed instinctively. "No!" the young woman shouted. "Don't let him in!" The figure pressed its face against the glass door, grinning. His eyes were hollow, his skin pale and stretched, like wax. He tapped his long nails against the glass. The driver hit the gas. The bus roared forward, leaving the figure behind. For a moment, relief. But when he looked back through the mirror, the ragged man was inside the bus, standing in the aisle. The man in the suit screamed and stumbled back. The old lady began to laugh, her body shaking violently. The ragged man turned his head, bones cracking with every movement, and grinned wider. The young woman grabbed the driver's arm. "You shouldn't have looked at him. If you acknowledge him, he stays." The driver's voice trembled. "What is he?" She shook her head. "The last passenger." The ragged man moved closer, each step echoing like a hammer on metal. His bare feet left wet, black stains on the floor. The bus lights flickered. The engine groaned. The suit-wearing man tried to rush past, but the ragged figure caught him with unnatural speed. His nails sank into the man's chest like knives. The man let out a choking cry before collapsing, his body shriveled, his face gray as ash. The ragged man dragged the corpse to the back row, tossing it beside the laughing old lady. She patted the body, still chuckling. The young woman whispered urgently, "Keep driving, don't stop. If you reach the end of the line, you'll be safe." The driver's knuckles turned white on the wheel. The road stretched on endlessly. His breath came in short gasps. The ragged man leaned closer, standing just behind him now. He could feel the cold air pressing against his neck. A rasping voice whispered in his ear, "Your stop is next." The driver refused to look. He stared at the road, forcing the bus faster, faster, faster. But suddenly, the headlights illuminated a sign ahead. "Graves Hollow, next right." The driver's stomach dropped. That stop, it didn't exist. The bus swerved as he tried to stay on the road. The young woman screamed, "Don't take it!" But the wheel spun on its own, as if dragged by unseen hands. The bus turned toward the glowing sign. Inside, the lights flickered violently. The old lady rose, her voice echoing in the cabin. "All passengers must disembark." The young woman clutched the driver's arm. "If the bus stops, we die." The bus screeched to a halt in the middle of a deserted clearing. The rain had stopped. Everything was silent, too silent. The doors hissed open. One by one, shadows climbed aboard from the darkness outside, faceless figures, tall and crooked, filling the aisle. Their cold hands reached out. The driver tried to shut the doors, but the controls were dead. The engine silent. The young woman screamed, "Don't look at them!" He squeezed his eyes shut, but he felt them. Dozens of icy fingers wrapping around his arms, his chest, his face, pulling him away from the wheel. The last thing he heard before darkness swallowed him was the old lady's whisper, "Welcome to the last stop."